Hello there, friends, and welcome to Monday morning, and welcome back to Daily Assurance. This is Holy Week, and we are excited to be on this journey with you as we journey with Jesus ultimately to the cross. What you will find this week with our Daily Assurance devotions is that they are a little different. We are actually taking Scripture each day that correlate with Jesus' experiences that last week of his life here on earth, leading to the cross. So the scripture that we encounter today is what happened with Jesus on Monday. The scripture that you'll hear tomorrow will be what happened to Jesus on Tuesday of that week, and so forth and so on. And while this is a rather somber week, we invite you to spend some time with the Scripture. We will relate the Scripture to where we are occasionally, but sometimes it's just going to be about the Scripture, and we are going to allow the Scripture to have some space to speak for itself. And we encourage you to spend some time reflecting on the Scripture each day as we journey with Jesus to the cross. And so today, Monday morning, we encounter Jesus from the Gospel of Matthew in chapter 22. It's one of my most favorite texts in all of Scripture. This is a big one for me. It's a key part of my faith foundation, and I think it probably should be for most people who are followers of Jesus. Many of the religious leaders in the day were trying to trip Jesus up. They were constantly trying to find him in contradiction or in violation of the law so that they could arrest him. And that pressure continued to mount as Jesus got later in life and in his ministry. And so what we find here is, again, that same scenario. The Sadducees are trying to trip him up and back him into a corner. And so the Pharisees join in their efforts. And what we see there, beginning in verse 34, hearing that Jesus had silenced the Sadducees, the Pharisees got together. One of them, an expert in the law, tested him with this question. He said, "Teacher, which is the greatest commandment in the law?" And Jesus replied, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. And the second is like it. Love your neighbor as yourself." I love those two commandments. Love the Lord your God with all that you are. And love your neighbor as yourself. And maybe even love your neighbor better than you love yourself. One of the beautiful things that I see in the situation we are in now and many times before in human history is when bad things happen, we tend to put our differences aside. It's no longer us and them. It's no longer I'm this and you're that. It really is about taking care of one another. We see people getting groceries for neighbors. We see people giving of their stuff so that others who need it can have it. It's a beautiful thing to watch it unfold. But the message we see here from Jesus himself is clear. This is not just a practice to be embodied when we are experiencing a global pandemic or in times of national tragedy. This is how Jesus expected us to live each and every day of our lives. Love God, love your neighbor. Jesus offered no exceptions to that. Love God and love your neighbor. So this day, my friends, on Monday of Holy Week, as we journey with Jesus, hear those two great commandments. Love the Lord your God with all that you are, and love your neighbor as yourself. Be well, my friends. Have a great day.